November 22nd, 1963 was to be a historic day in Austin. That afternoon, President Kennedy was scheduled to visit the state's capital following his speech in Dallas. Feelings of giddiness instantly turned into disbelief when the news of his assassination became widespread. 50 years later, the images and emotions remain fresh in the minds of many, including a couple who were students here at UT that day. Earlier this month, Robert and Kay Beasley walked onto the 40 acres and relived memories of that tragic day and the events that followed half a century ago. The couple had been married a little more than a year on November 22nd, 1963. Both 22, Kay was a UT graduate student, and Robert was finishing up one final course before earning his degree.
It was more than a normal day. The president was coming to town.
Right. It was an exciting, looking forward to a fun day, an exciting day. The fact that a president of the United States was coming to our little town, and it was something very unusual.
Of course, I was working, but I was excited because Kay was going to get to go down and see him in person.
President Kennedy was going to Dallas that morning for a parade and then flying to Austin for an afternoon parade down Congress Avenue.
President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas, Texas. He was shot while he was touring town with Governor Connally in the famous bubble car. The bubble was down. Both Mrs. Kennedy
I'll never forget. I was working for the General Land Office here in Austin, and we had a secretary that took calls for the whole office, and she got a call from her husband, and he said, Kennedy's been shot. And she just kind of hung up the phone and told everybody that, and it was disbelief.
I was home getting ready to go to the parade, and my friend called and said, turn on the television right away. The president has been shot. He walked in the door and we just hugged each other and sat down and watched, trying to make some sense out of it.
When they announced that he was dead, I don't think anybody was not crying.
Running through my mind was, what next? What are we going to do? And, it played out in, I guess, the best that could have been done was, but at that time, it was just a grief and sadness and confusion and not knowing how the government was going to carry on.
I guess after the assassination, everything was in slow motion. It's almost like you were watching figures on TV, but you couldn't hear the sound.
With the nation still reeling, there were mixed feelings on how to move forward. The Longhorn football team faced a difficult decision about whether to play its game 6 days later on Thanksgiving against arch rivals Texas A&M.
There was all kinds of rumors that, we may not play the rest of the season. I mean, there was rumors to that effect. Are you going to play a game and not show the respect for a position that is, that is looked up to by so many people?
The odds were that we would not play. And I think that it was kind of like Saturday Night Live going on TV after 9/11. The country kind of needed to get over the assassination so that kind of the country would get their Thanksgiving Day back a little bit more to normal.
The team did end up making the trip to College Station, winning 15-13, which wasn't easy for the distraught players. Like the rest of the nation, UT students and professors were glued to their television sets in the days that followed. The president's memorial brought a nation of grieving citizens together.
I think watching their son salute, to me, was, and to the world, I think that was the most meaningful thing that could have happened.
Mrs. Kennedy and her children kissing the coffin, and it was just it was very sad. It just almost brings tears to my eyes now to think about it.
President Kennedy was only 46 when he was killed. For students all across America, there was a sense that their president had been taken away from them.
He wasn't your grandfather as president. He was your dad, but a young and vigorous dad. Almost maybe the dad that's your friend, the dad that could still play ball with you and hang out with you and be there at homecoming and applaud you as you're playing football or you're cheerleading.
He brought hope to our country. And he was so charismatic that he got young folks thinking about doing things for the country. And of course we had the Peace Corps, and I think it's really important that young people take some role in some activity for our country. You know, we've got soldiers fighting right now for our country and for us, and we have a tendency to sit back and, well, that's way over there. I think he brought an urgency to do something for your country.